So once you're logged into your Adobe account, Photoshop should look like this. It may look slightly different in other versions. We're using Adobe Photoshop 2024. In order to create a new document, click the blue New File button at the top left of the page. The dimensions of the document are here. You can change the units of the dimensions through the drop-down menu. 300 dpi is considered the minimum pixels per inch value to work at for anything you're going to print. For this tutorial, we're making a letter-sized document at 300 pixels per inch or 300 ppi. When you enter a new document, the first thing you'll want to do is create a new layer using the new layer icon here, or place a file like a photo into your document by going to File, then Open at the top. Alternatively, you can use the keyboard shortcut Command O on Mac or Control O on PC. By clicking Open, you'll be able to open a non-Photoshop file in a new tab. After you open it, you can select everything on the new document using Command A on Mac or Control A on PC. After that, use Command C on Mac or Control C on PC to copy and switch back to your original document tab. Paste the image using Command V on Mac or Control V on PC. Now we've pasted a different file into our new document and are ready to use it in our art. You're free to close out the tab with the original photo file if you want. From here, we can use Command T or Control T on PC to access the transform tool and resize or alter the current layer. When you're satisfied, let's make a new layer before we move on to the toolbar. The brush tool can be accessed by clicking this button or by using the keyboard shortcut B. To change your brush or its size, go to the drop-down menu at the top left. You can also change the opacity here at the top, as well as your flow and your smoothing. To change the color of your brush, select a new color from the picker at the top right. The square in the back is your background color, and the square in the front is your foreground color. You can switch them by pressing X. To switch to the eraser tool, press E. The settings for the eraser tool are in the same places as the brush tool. Undo is Command Z on Mac or Control Z on PC, and redo is Command Shift Z on Mac and Control Shift Z on PC. Next, let's talk about the lasso tool, which is Photoshop selection tool. Press L to access the lasso tool and use it like the brush tool to select. You can also hold down on the lasso tool in the menu to switch between the standard lasso tool and the polygonal lasso tool, which looks like this. You can also access quick selection tools through this, which automatically selects parts of images. Just remember to be on the correct layer when you're using them. If you want to fill a closed shape or an empty layer, go onto the layer of your choice, press G, and then click. This is the fill tool. By default, your fill color is the same as your foreground color. You can change the opacity of layers with the opacity slider, toggle layer visibility with the eye icon, and double-click a layer to reveal more detailed layer settings. Adjustment layers can be created by going to the layer menu at the top and then hovering over New Adjustment Layer. From the menu on the right that shows up, you can select specific adjustments. Finally, perhaps the most important thing to know in this video is saving your file. Photoshop does not save automatically by default, so in order to save your work, you need to go to File and Save, or press Command S on Mac or Control S on PC. The first time you do this, you will need to pick a name and location for the file. Photoshop uses Photoshop document files or .psd files. In order to export your artwork as another type of file, go to File, then Export As. From there, choose a format, name, and location, then export. Next, let's talk about navigation and troubleshooting. If you're ever looking for something and get stuck, go to the Help menu at the top and search for the feature you're looking for. The gray area around your art is your workspace, and it can be edited to include the tool windows you use most frequently. More tool panels can be found in the Windows menu at the top. If you find yourself frequently accessing features that aren't in your workspace by default, you can drag them into your workspace. You can also remove other windows you don't use frequently by dragging them out and closing their tabs. As for troubleshooting, one of the most common beginner roadblocks is not realizing you're on the wrong layer or that your layer is locked. To rule this out, check your Layers panel to make sure you're on the correct layer and your layer doesn't have a lock icon by it. You can lock layers in different ways here. You also may have something selected. To rule this out, use Command D on Mac or Control D on PC to deselect anything you might have selected with the lasso tool. Thanks for watching this introduction tutorial and have fun learning how to use Adobe Photoshop.